Welcome to Towerhand Happy Hour, episode 7. I'm Chad,
I'm Boone.
and today we have on Andrew Berkley, owner of Veteran Tower Solutions. Andrew, how are you?
Good, Chad. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing good. I'm doing not bad after last night.
Yeah, fun times.
So, Andrew,
So,
Veteran Tower Solutions, how did it get its name? You're obviously a veteran.
Yeah, so my partner and I were both veterans. We both served in the United States Army, just a military organization out there. I'm just throwing that out. Yeah, so we both served in the military. Yep, and it just kind of tied that into our company name.
Nice.
nice. How long has your company been around?
We started in 2019, January 28th, to be exact.
Nice.
So we just hit our 2-year mark here.
Congratulations.
What's your main thing you do? Like, do you tower stacks, L&A?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so we're mostly L&A. Right now, we just kind of adjust to the projects that are local or that we're interested in working on, and we kind of adjust to that. But for a majority of it, it's heavy civil, L&A, and electrical. We do a lot of difficult sites for our customer, a lot of the new site builds. We had a site that we're working on right now that got some tornado damage from the tornado that came through last year. It took them a year to get it kind of brought back in and fixed. So we're doing a full rip out and replace, full civil, full tower, full O&A.
Wow.
We're going to turnkey that from decom to integration. From decom of tornado damaged equipment to installation of full O&A and integrating that as well.
So
Yeah, you should have came up here for the Drakeo. You want to talk about damage?
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures. What is so how many employees do you have right now?
We're running about 10 internal. We've got some external subcontract crews as well. So we've got a couple crews. We've kind of got a full build crew that we've got running, and we've kind of got a heavy Tiger team crew that runs around and supports other crews, does commissioning integrations, things like that. So we've kind of got our runners.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
What market are you majority in? Like southeast, southwest? I know you're in Tennessee. I'm looking at Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of our work historically has been in the southeast. That's just kind of how I like to roll. I'm a southern guy myself. But yeah, for right now, we're in the Nashville, Louisville, Knoxville market. So we support central and eastern Tennessee almost exclusively.
Nice. How long have you been in the industry?
I've been in the industry about 13 years now. So I started in 2008. And as soon as I got out of the military, I went through the Helmets to Hard Hats program and, got my feet wet and climbing, started stacking tall steel and, doing a lot of mods and just, new site builds. Go out to a field, GPS, their center pin of tower,
Yeah.
all the way to fencing, gravel, lighting, everything in between. So
Wow.
did that and kind of transitioned to the L&A side a few years later.
So what made you start a company?
I've been around. I haven't worked too many places, but I just kind of worked my way up from, green bean tower hand all the way up to a project manager with a large corporation, which is how I met you. And just kind of, I got exposed to it. I'm hungry. I'm a driven guy, and I don't like sitting stagnant for very long. So the next step for me after PM was starting a business for me. It was something I've always wanted to do, and I thought would be challenging, and I like challenges. So we did it, man, and we've done well.
Yeah.
And we like it.
Yeah, good for you.
Chad, I'm going to tell you one thing. So when he started his company, he's like, boom, come on, let's do this. Make you a partner. We're all going to do it together. Be badass. He's like probably one of my only regrets I have in this industry that I didn't do is becoming a partner with him, because, dude, he's killing it right now. He's killing it.
We're building a lot of sites, man. We've got some really good crews. We're really the preferred contractor for our customer exclusively in the Tennessee market, and we get a lot of good feedback. And I always tell people my secret. They always ask me, "How do you do this? How do you build sites so fast? How do you do it so clean?" It's easy. The secret is just hard work and motivation.
Yeah.
If you got a team that stands behind you that has the same vision that you do, and you want to do quality work, and you just drive that home and ensure that it gets done that the way you want it to get done, or the way the customer wants it to get done, it's almost too easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I met him, sorry to interrupt you. When I met him, and now his co-owner too, Big John, the first thing I thought of was you and Train, because Big John's big. He's a big boy. But that is the first thing I thought of was you as Andrew and Big John as Train. First thing I thought. It was awesome. It was the greatest thing in the world.
Well, that's good. That's a good relationship.
Yeah,
then.
dude, those guys. But him as just working for a company too, they were knocking stuff out so quick that they were piling more stuff on you guys, weren't they?
Oh yeah, I mean, you see the owners of those massive corporations, would reach out to us on a private level, just for advice on how to make their other crews better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can build that trust not only with each other but with the people you're doing work for. Any more of that trust goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely, and it helps to have a good partner. We've always been told that don't do business with friends and family, but my business partner, Big John, is like my family, like my damn brother.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with him for about 8 years now, and even when we don't agree on something, it never even gets heated, man. It's just kind of a rock, paper, scissors. Who's doing it whose way?
Well, I don't know what that's like, because me and Train used to, man, we've had a couple times it was just absolute throwdowns.
Oh yeah.
But
So
Andrew, you were speaking of your employees, your training program. It's one of the first things we like to ask about.
Sure, yeah.
What does your training program look like, and who trains the guys? And what does that look like?
Yeah, let me get into that. So I am our qualified individual for the company, right? And I exclusively take care of our safety and training aspect of our business. So, all of our new hires that I screen and extend offers of employment to, I bring them on and get them trained and certified as an in-house instructor. And sometimes we hire guys with zero experience, right? So when we bring those guys in, sometimes I'll send them out to a third party to just kind of cut their teeth in driving, having an instructor that does it day in and day out, driving a lot of these rules and regulations into their head. It's a lot easier for them to do it than I am. And then I kind of bring them in-house and go into a lot more detailed training in terms of climber and rigger training, and kind of take it to the next level, so to say.
Yeah.
Just
you take the general knowledge and make it, carry specific, and
just kind of
like
build
harness
off
it down.
of it. Build off of it. And it's really more rigging than anything. Rigging is something that I drive really hard, right? Guys get used to climbing, and as long as they know how to climb safely and how to use their equipment properly, I really like to get guys up to speed with rigging, because you can have competent riggers on site, but if they don't know how to rig at a competent level, then you're kind of dooming yourself, right? You're setting yourself up for failure, because anyone that climbs that tower is probably going to rig it at some point,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely try to make sure that my guys are trained at the highest level, so we can all come home at the end of the day, for sure.
Yeah. That's the most important thing right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So your safety program, I talk about this with a lot of guys, and back in the day, it used to be you had to, you send the guy up the tower. You wanted to make sure that he could do before he could even put down on paper that he could demonstrate knowledge. And I know that's changed in a lot of companies. I know it makes it a really, really hard on new companies and growing companies, that way, because if the guy can't make it up there, you're going to have to, it's not much good for you.
Right.
You got to spend the money first just to see what you've got.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, each employee is an investment for sure. That's why I think in-depth screening is key, right? You're never going to find out everything you need to know about an employee, but if you can kind of, get a good feel for people, anyone in this business that's been around for a while has probably got pretty good head on their shoulders and can, judge and feel people out on their first impressions. So
that's questionable.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the safety and certification side of it there, I mean, yeah, it's definitely an investment. You have to get these guys trained and certified before they put boots on the ground, so it can be a challenge. It can definitely be a challenge. So
do you prefer hiring experienced guys or like green hands?
I have that's a really kind of a sore subject for me. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole too deep. But I will say,
I do.
Okay, let's do it. So for me, it's kind of 50-50, right? I mean, you put more time and money in someone that's doesn't have any experience, but if they got good common sense, right, it's probably a well-made investment. You get a lot of experienced hands that have been around the industry for a while, and then they think they know everything. I'm a broken record right now. We all know what's going on here, but it's hard to kind of get those guys to work the way you want them to, right? If I'm paying someone to do something the way I want it done, as long as it's safe and it's good quality, we shouldn't have any issues with that. But more times than not, you find a lot of these tower hands out there that really don't want to work, and they just kind of bounce around until they just can't do it anymore, so sore subject. We've had a lot of guys come and go here recently. I've been looking for some experienced hands, and I've just kind of come to terms with the good ones are taken and staying where they're at, and I need to just start building new hands in this industry. So if there's one way I can help the industry, it's to train people the right way so that we have fewer accidents out there in the industry, because people fake it till they make it, and unfortunately that causes injuries sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. No, I couldn't.
You can't teach the old dog new tricks, man. That's I'm sure you have bad habits still that you catch yourself doing, like, oh, I can't do that. No, yeah, sure, we all do. One little slip up, and it's Yeah,
I mean, the guys that are the most successful out there that have had experience and that I work with, that came to me with experience, are the ones that are willing to adapt to the new industry, right? This is a different industry than it was in 2009, 2008 when I started, and I've had to adapt and overcome and kind of accustom myself to the new ways of working and staying in compliance with today's industry standards. It's a lot to keep up with, but the guys that can adapt to that, do the best. So
yeah, it has changed a lot.
Agree 100% on that one. Yeah. So, what's your ideal employee? Like, what is it? Obviously, you're a veteran company. Do you prefer to hire veterans? Do you, try to get with the soldiers for what's it called?
Warriors for Wireless.
What's that? No. Transitioning soldiers thing.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So the transitioning soldiers, when they come out of the military, you try to scoop them up right away and train them up the way you want them, or how do you do it?
We love veterans. I mean, obviously we're a veteran-owned and operated company, and anytime I can hire a vet and teach him a new skill set that could help potentially provide him a good way of life, I love it. Right? It's a win-win for me. So I mean, I like to hire vets. I'll give anyone a chance. I like the mechanics out there that are stuck at Pet Boys, you know what I mean, that know how to turn wrenches already. Those guys that are wanting to take it to the next level and make some real money. I like bringing those guys on. Tree climbers are good, It's the hardest part is getting people to travel, So luckily we're fortunate enough to have local work, but I like guys with good common sense and that have a mechanical background for sure, And I
the
can
veterans don't seem to mind travel.
No, not until they
that I've seen. I've seen some veterans that you're out for 2 and 3 weeks and they can't understand why you're not still out working.
Yeah,
man, that's a double-edged sword right there, because it goes both ways. They get out of the military, they're like, I want to be home. I spent my 4 or 5, 8 years or whatever it is. So how do you know then when it's time to let a good tower hand go?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a dagger. Yeah. So so how to let a good tower hand go? Let me elaborate on that a little bit. So I've had a couple guys that have worked for us in the past that were good hands, right? That may get a little complacent at times, right? Or may have bad habits with cutting corners, you know, and can't really work that out of them. That's a good scenario where you could let a good employee, a good knowledgeable tower hand go, because it's really not worth the risk. And we have a zero tolerance policy, so anytime that, you know, someone kind of breaks that rule, right, we continue that example. You know, we don't want to give breaks here and there, you know. So but yeah, it's definitely hard to let a good employee go. You know, if you got a good hand out there that can get things done on the tower, but you just have problems with, it's hard. It's a challenge to let them go, but you just got to weigh the pros and cons and what the risk and liabilities could be to keep that guy around, you know.
It's just the growing period can be such a long time, you know, when it comes to working on these RUs and, you know, labeling your rets, and it's just, I just think it's a tough decision to make. I like that question. Boone's asked that now a couple times.
Yeah. It's funny to see different, you know, answers to that question too, you know, because there's so much different opinions on, well, we've heard it before that this guy's messed up multiple times and they just, you know, retrain him, or, you know, maybe demote him or whatever they got to do, and they still with the company. Then something serious happens and he gets injured. Now he's a liability. Now that company's at fault and he's at fault, and it's just craziness. Like, I know where Andrew's coming from with a bunch of this stuff, and yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially when the guy's making money. But you got to understand that, you know, his life is worth more, and he's going to affect your family and your company. And if something serious happens, and you just got to.
Yeah, they're going to come back after you, and they're going to find a proven track record.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And they're just going to nail your ass to the cross there.
Yeah, and another thing is crew morale. You know, if you've got a bad egg on a crew that's just a cancer that's driving the morale down on the crew,
right?
Know, even if it's your leader,
yeah.
You know, is it worth losing one leader or the whole crew? You know, so sometimes if you just got that guy that has a sour attitude or just doesn't want to be working and he's just driving everyone else's morale down, I mean, those are things you got to consider as well. You know.
Do you do safety audits on your crews?
Yeah, we do safety audits on all of our crews and all of our contractors as well. And, you know, we constantly monitor their certifications, their JHAs. We want to make sure they're on top of it so the customer doesn't find out, you know, not that they don't find out, but we don't want to be relaxed on the audit side of things, right? We want to just make sure that, not even from a safety standpoint, but from a quality standpoint, we want to know where that job's at. You know, we don't want to go off of an email update at the end of the day. We want to go lay eyes on it. So yeah, we do a lot of audits. We do a lot of pop-ins, and we've built relationships with all of our guys. So, you know, when something's out of place or something doesn't look right, it can be shocking sometimes. Like, man, we've done this 5 times this week, you know, every day.
Yeah. Yep. Do you write guys up?
Yeah, internally, you know, I do write guys up, but it's more of I've got personal relationships with most of my guys, right? So, you know, I write them up in here. So,
you know, we had an episode a while back about writing guys up, and I told I told Boone here that I had a problem with it because, you know, when my bosses would try to write me up, I thought they were just taking my ass to task, and I didn't really understand. I didn't want to get wrote up, and I thought it was going to cost me money in the end. That's all I could think of, is it was going to come up on my review, and it was going to cost me, you know, whatever that I could have made on a raise. But, you know, now in the industry, the part of the industry that I'm in right now, I realize that it's important to do that because if you don't document, and there was a problem, there was a serious injury, there was a fatality, and OSHA comes back and they ask your employees if they'd ever seen this, and every, you know, whether it's free climbing, whether it's, you know, guys without hard hats, and and the employees all say, well, yeah, we've seen it from time to time. And they come back to you and they find out that you haven't documented it. It's you know, I never looked at it that way. And now I do. And I try to tell these guys, you know, take your write-ups. In some cases, a company is just trying to document stuff. They can't fix it if they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some, you know, definitely documenting these kind of cases, right? It is huge, right? I really don't even want to have nothing to document. You know, we just want we want to just have a smooth day to day, but unfortunately things happen, you know what I mean? So yeah, I agree with you in that sense. Yeah, absolutely. It can be a challenge.
We're all human here. You know, we all
everyone
make
makes
mistakes, and complacency is the number one killer in any industry. But documentation, you know, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You know, so you have to document those things. You have to, even though I don't even call it like a write up. You know, call it like a career building action form or something like that. You know, like
Well, corporations,
we call them corrective action forms. So the guys don't get wrote up. They just get let known that what they're doing is, you know, is not tolerated, but they don't sign, you know, they do, but it's not anything that's going to dock you pay until you have, you know, multiple infractions, I believe.
Yeah,
but
sure. Yeah, at the level we're at with being a small company, I mean, you know, I document everything that we do, and typically I would say if I had an incident that was worth documenting, I'm probably looking at that employee's, you know, kind of place with the company, right? So if it's something that I need to document, I probably, you know, it's probably bad enough that I may not move on. And a lot of larger corporations too, they'll do a lot of corrective actions, or like you said, Chad, or write-ups, you know, because if you get that history with that employee, you kind of need that for HR to let that team member go if he needs to be let go. So for me, at the level I'm at, I don't have a huge HR company, but you know, if I get to a conversation with someone and it's, you know, something that's worth documenting, that conversation is probably going to go, you know, one way.
Everyone in this industry.
HR. I figured that one out.
Everyone in this industry should have at least like 2 or 3 write-ups. You know, it's not, don't have to be bad.
Yeah.
Just, we're human, you know, we screw up. So
yeah, you know,
you just got to document it. You just got to log it in your, you know, notes of the day, or, you know, have a write-up form, or,
yeah.
you know,
I mean, we actually have it in place, right? I've got a company safety policy that I share with all of our contractors and internal employees. So they read over it. We go over it all. I would probably say I would document more corrective actions on contractors, right? I can fire a contractor, but if I see something that I don't really think is right, like their JHA might not be as detailed as it could have been, I will definitely follow that up and document that.
Nice.
And just let the ownership know, hey, you know, this is what I seen on your site today. You know, I think you could probably tighten your game up a little bit, tighten your safety up a little bit.
Yeah. So on your JHA, do you allow them to write 911 as the,
no.
you know, 911 or the emergency contact?
No, absolutely not. Because if you go through the time and look these hospitals and sheriff's office, local sheriff's office up, that's actually closest to your location, that's fresh on the guy's mind. You know what I mean?
There's sometimes, I'm glad the guy said that in that training yesterday. There's sometimes where that is tolerable. And I can name one site right off the bat that I know that it's tolerable. That would be Brownlee, Nebraska. The closest hospital in any direction is 45 minutes, and they share they share the handoff to that area there. And we found that out when Frank and I were stacking there. At least that's what it was back then. But at that point, 911 had to be documented, because you could call some other number and then they'd have to call another number. Your quickest option was 911 to see who could come get you.
Yeah. And some areas in all the United States, there's some parts of, you know, the country that don't have 911 period. 911 is actually an expensive system to actually set up. So it might be a emergency contact number, you know, or whatever. 911 is probably not operational in some areas. So you got to do all that stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
Yep. I hate 911.
So
911, my JHA. That's the emergency contact.
Andrew, we don't have a whole lot of time left here, but there's something I do want to ask you, and it's on my mind. You had brought up something about helmets to hard hats. Could you quickly tell me a little bit about that? I don't really know much at all about that.
Yeah. So it was it's a program designed for, you know, soldiers transitioning out of the armed forces into telecom at the time. You know, they do Warriors for Wireless and a few different programs they got out there for veterans that they can utilize their GI Bill and get industry-specific training certifications. And that's just kind of what I did. And so I made my way up to Northern Illinois and just kind of got on a job fair, went through some training, got certified, and went up and started stacking some steel. So it's a really great program for, like I said, transitioning soldiers.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, they've got some other programs out there now. So, I encourage any veteran that's on here that may not even be in the industry that just sees this podcast here to look into it if they're interested in climbing. Definitely.
I like
Oh,
that.
shit.
I've heard a lot about it. Well, I've heard a little about it. I never knew that much about it though.
Yeah, I mean, soldiers can use their GI Bill if they don't have a career plan post military service. They can utilize a small portion of that GI Bill, absolutely, and get some really good, we can get some trade knowledge here and get some good training and certifications. This isn't a bad industry to be in for sure, and we need to get some good guys in here and start building it up.
Yeah, we got to bring you back on here, soon, because I'd like to run through and have you tell us exactly how you did that and, transitioned in and out. And
Sure.
That way, we could always have for somebody trying to do the same thing you are. That'll be some really, really good information.
Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to.
Well, Andrew, it's been great having you on here. And it's been great getting to know you and know your company. Boone has said some great things about you. And what he knows about your company has been pretty great. And we'd like to have you on here again. I'd like to have you share a few of your experiences. And again, this is Towerhand Happy Hour, episode 7. Please use our email address that you see posted across the screen. And Chad, Boone, and it's been great having you on here, Andrew.
Thanks, guys. Take care, man.
Next time we get you on, we're gonna have Big John with you.
Oh yeah, I'll have that.
Yeah.
I gotta get a booster seat for him though. For me.
All right, be safe, guys.
Take care.
Peace out. Be safe.